Hey everyone, it's Debra Eckerling. How are you doing today? I am the author of Your Goal Guide, a roadmap for setting, planning, and achieving your goals, and founder of the Deb Method, and host of the GoalChat Twitter chat, which is now also GoalChat Live here on the Mango Facebook page. Is there anybody out there? It's totally fine if there isn't, but if you are, just say hi, or if you're watching the replay, that would be great. So normally, when I start my chats, I say introduce yourself. So I will start with me. I have been leading goal setting and productivity groups for a while, and I started, well, I've got Right On Online, which is a Facebook page and group, and I started the GoalChat Twitter chat back in 2018 as a way to sort of give people a space to connect with other goal setters and cheer each other on. And it's been a lot of fun, because even now in these uncertain times, crazy times, abnormal times, it's been so much fun to have a place where everybody can go on Sunday nights, where they can just kind of hang out and say, hey, how are you doing? What did you do? And it's also important to celebrate all the wins. And I've got Dennis here. Hi, Dennis. Thanks for joining us for GoalChat Live. And what was your biggest win last week? Because that's really what it's all about, is you want to celebrate all the wins. Even small wins like surviving is a huge win. So whatever you're doing, think of something you did last week that made either you happy or made someone else feel good, and comment, let us know. And my big win is, I'm going to say, this chat, because I've been thinking about doing a regular Facebook Live show for a while, and then the awesome Brenda Knight about a week or so ago said, hey, want to bring your goal chat to our Facebook Live? And here we are. So thank you, Brenda, and thank you, Mango. I love you. You're an awesome publisher. I'm thrilled to have this platform. Oh, and speaking of platforms and books, I think I will just a real quick. This is my beautiful Your Goal Guide, which Mango released in January. And who really knew in January when this came? Well, January is where everybody is looking to recalibrate and set new goals, but now everybody kind of has to, because the world has changed. So if you want more information about my book, you can go to yourgoalguideroadmap.com or ask for it at your favorite bookstore. So, and Dennis says, I endorse this book. Thank you. Oh, and Dennis's big win is I enjoyed my Zoom Seder with my family, which is great, because the holidays were, well, Passover Seders were last week, and Easter was yesterday. And although we couldn't get together with people in person, you could actually connect with more people in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, because everybody is connecting, which is one of the things I did with my GoalChat topics in April and coming up in May, is trying to find the most user-friendly in this weird time topic. So a week ago, we discussed stress management, because obvious reasons, and this week we're talking about virtual events. So you need to, I don't want to say embrace, but embrace the fact that things are different, and find different ways to work things. So this is the point where I say, what was your biggest win last week? I already said I've started this. What are your goals for the week? Well, if you want to post your goals, you can do so in the comments, or head over to the Right On Online Facebook group. And there's always a thread going on there, as well as that Facebook page. And it's really just, you just kind of want to say, and you don't even have to be detailed about what you're working on. You could say, I'm going to write a chapter, I'm going to work an hour every other day. Whatever it is that's going to make you feel good at the end of the week, that's the point. Set goals, have people like me and the community cheering you on, and then at the end of the week, when you did it, we're just all so thrilled. So I want to take a little, oh, Lisa has just joined. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining us. Love that my Angelinos are coming out for this, the very first GoalChat Live. So thank you, thank you. And So the first question I asked last night was, do you attend virtual events? Do you host them, or both? Why or why not? Well, I have been lately attending so many virtual events, and it's amazing because last week I went to a panel in San Francisco. I attended a virtual lunch in Pasadena. I live in West LA, so if you're unfamiliar with Los Angeles, we're all in our little sections. In Pasadena, it's just far to go for lunch. But the virtual lunch, I got to meet these amazing women who I've been on this email thread with for probably over a year. And because you're going to know this about me, I always kind of look at the positive. Because of the situation, I have had the opportunity to meet more people, attend events I normally wouldn't go to. I take a UJAM class that my friend Jennifer, who lives in San Diego, teaches. And in the former world, that couldn't happen. Okay, so raise your hand if you are exercising online. Good for you. Raise your hand if you're still exercising, but at home, something that's comfortable, also totally fine. Raise your hand if you're doing self-care constantly, because that's everybody's bonus goal. And if it isn't, I am giving you permission. Make your bonus goal self-care. Oh, so we have a new person joining us, and I'm gonna mispronounce your name. I apologize. I think it's Faizan. We're talking about virtual events today. Dennis is taking naps. Good. And your schedule is probably off now. I've worked from home for a while, so my schedule is probably a little bit less off than everybody else's. But if you need to take naps, if you need to take breaks, if you need to take a walk in your neighborhood around your house, fine. Be sure to breathe, maybe do some meditation. But the secret, I think, of taking care of yourself is figuring out your self-care ritual and doing it regularly. Or irregularly, but at least once a week. Have your me time, get away from the hustle and bustle. And this counts for year-round, not just now. Okay, so what other virtual events have you been attending? Well, I think it's wonderful because I see all these bookstores that are doing virtual readings. I know the Mango page has been doing a Wednesday afternoon panel, and then Sherry has been doing these Sherry from Simply Celebrate has been doing these wonderful author interviews on Friday afternoons that we got to talk a few weeks ago. So there are even more opportunities right now to meet people, to connect with them, to learn from them. I'm on several local Chamber of Commerce that they're all taking their meetings onto Zoom. So if you haven't found those right events, look at your organizations, look at the Women's National Book Association San Francisco chapter is hosting me tomorrow. I'm doing a lunch and learn on goals for writers. You're all invited. I'll put the link in the comments later. But look at your organization, see what they're doing, and if they're not doing events, maybe you want to help them. There's always so much opportunity. So is there anyone listening? If you're leading an event, go ahead and link in the comments. I want everybody to know about everything. Or if you've got a good resource for events, feel free to do that as well. So let's take a look. So that was the first question. And yeah, I answered it. I basically said exactly what I just told you. And what types of online events do you find the most valuable? Well, I kind of think all of them, because you have to test out the different events to see what works for you. So maybe Facebook Live, you've got a page that's doing more events, or I know a lot of real life conferences, in-person conferences are doing online conferences as an alternative because so many things have been postponed. I know there's an online writers conference on Saturday. I'll also share that link that I'm speaking on about mindset at 10 a.m. And it's Russell Nolte, who I met at a conference at the end of February, saw that all these conferences were being canceled, so he created one. I know Desiree Duffy's got one coming up in May, an LA Book Fest alternative, because just because events are being postponed doesn't mean that life can't. It's very challenging to be working, the same way you worked before. Don't. But still find ways to connect with people. Maybe it's a coffee breakfast once a week and you do it with a different person every week. Great way to reconnect. Or maybe host a Zoom for an organization you're involved in, or offer to be on a panel with your publisher, with one of your local groups. Look at the things you would normally be doing, going out, and see what you can do to help other people, to share your expertise, to see who needs a little bit of help getting that information out there. So online and virtual events can be anything from a half day or a full day conference. It can be a speed networking breakfast. One of the local chambers here does that, and I'm excited because I finally get to go to one because it's online. Another chamber that I haven't had as much exposure to is doing a breakfast meeting. Great. I get to meet, and one of the best parts is I go to these events and I know maybe one, if I'm lucky, I know maybe one or two people, and then everybody else are all new friends and potential connections. And that's another thing, and I talk about this in my book. It's networking is such an important part of anything you're doing to achieve your goals, because you can't achieve them on your own. And the people that you meet, they may be your client, they probably aren't, but they know people. They may be a reader, could be, or they know people. They could be a resource for you, or they know people. So when you're looking at what are your goals and how you can achieve them, one of the best things that you can do is see, okay, what do I need? I should back up. So in my book, I talk about my system, which is called the DEB method. And D is determine your mission, E is explore your options, and B is brainstorm your path. So the D is all about figuring out what is your goaltopia, what is your perfect life, what is it you want? And then you go through and explore where you are, where you're going, and then come up with a mission, which is basically your expertise, what you want, and how it helps others, motto. So you've determined your mission, and there are different ways to get where you want to go. You want to explore your options. So I want to help people define, plan, and achieve their goals. So I do this with my book, thankfully, and also through my communities and through events. But let's say you're not sure. You have this great knowledge. Do you want to share it via a blog or a podcast or a video show or speaking or write a book? So many options. So you need to figure out what those are, and having a community can help you with that, because once you come up with the different opportunities, the different potential pursuits, then you can look to your people and say, okay, who knows about this? Who can I talk to? Who can give me resources, or who knows people who have resources? So that's why community is so important. And then once you settle on that option, you go into brainstorm your path. What is it going to take to get from the life you have now to the life you want? And you build that roadmap. Again, your goal guide has this in more than 2-minute form. But the point is, you've had to reassess your goals. You're changing things up. Maybe your goal right now is self-care because this isolation is hitting you too hard. That's fine. Maybe your goal is to create something, but you don't know what that is. That is fine too. The point is to look at where you are, where you're going, and how virtual events, networking, meeting other people is going to be helping you. Okay, let's see, where else are we at? And the other thing I will do in the comments is I will put in the link to the recap from yesterday's GoalChat. And what are some best practices for getting the most out of virtual events? Well, you want to find them, and I'm going to say you want to find the good ones, but it's really an event that's good for someone may or may not be good for you. So explore. Now, when in-person events are an option, I always suggest a good goal to have is one event per week, and you can mix it up. So one week you go to a mixer, and the next week you go to a workshop. Week after that, you have coffee with a friend, and then maybe one week you just kind of can't get out there. Totally fine. Email, message, send 5 hi, how are yous to someone, because that kind of adds up in my mind to it counts. Everything counts. Any effort that you're putting towards yourself, towards your goals, completely count. So best practice for online events. Well, there are plenty of different types. We have Twitter chats, we have Facebook Lives, we have LinkedIn Lives, we have online conferences, we have YouTube Live as well. There are Twitter chats, interacting with stories. I love that I talked about exercise before. So many trainers are going live on Instagram TV and doing their classes. And it's a good way to check out something you normally would not have time to drive through, take, plan, etc. So you get a nice little sample. So if you're doing something like a mixer or a Twitter chat or a Zoom something or other, the number one rule is be present. You know, put away the phone. Only keep open or put your phone on silent. Only keep open the screens that you need at the moment, and really pay attention, really listen, and take notes if you want. If things are interesting that the speaker is saying that you want to remember, yeah, you could watch the replay or, take notes. The other thing is, when given the opportunity, introduce yourself, because that's really how relationships start. They develop with the hi, how are you? What's going on, right? So you want to be present, you want to introduce yourself. If it's appropriate, you want to interact. And some things, they'll put you on mute. They'll do the series, and then they'll ask for questions, or say, ask your questions in the comments. Find out the rules, play by them, because being a good participant is super helpful. But then when they ask you, interact. Now, Twitter chats, most of them, and you can find them by doing a search Twitter chat and then your subject. Usually a whole bunch will come out. There's also lists. You can search for tweet chat or Twitter chat lists, find your subject, see what's going on, or ask your friends on Twitter, okay, looking for a new Twitter chat. What should I join? And see what is out there. And those are, and like I said before, I've been leading GoalChat on Sunday nights for a little over 2 years, and it's great because the first 10 minutes is everybody introducing themselves and saying how are you. And when we get new people in, I just love how my community makes them all feel welcome. It's like, oh, welcome, we're here for you, how can we help you? Which is the feeling of a lot of Twitter chats. And if you go to one or two and you don't feel that way about it, it's fine. Explore. Find some new ones to check out. Oh, and Pam's here. Hi, Pam. Pam's one of my regulars at GoalChat on Sunday nights. Glad to see you and welcome. Okay, so we're being present, we're introducing ourselves, we're interacting, we're making new friends. Now Pam's a great example because we met on my Twitter chat probably a couple years ago, and then in December she did an interview with me for my book. So we did a Zoom call, and it was great because after years of knowing each other, it's putting a face to a name and to tweets. So you want to make new friends and develop relationships. See what your people are doing. Find out ways to help them, see if they can help you. It's really a matter of developing relationships. The other really, really key point for when you're at this event is you don't want to promote yourself unless you're asked to promote yourself. This is about learning, connecting, then developing relationships, and then the best part is you follow up. So whether you meet someone because they're a speaker or you're interacting in the comments, it's really helpful to just reach out, send a note. Hey, it was great chatting with you. It was great connecting with you. Look on LinkedIn. Usually that's the best place to do your first connect, because a lot of people prefer that to keep the professional connections professional. At some point, you might bring them over into your Facebook world. You can follow their page and also follow them on Twitter. But look at the people that you meet. If you have mutual friends, you can always say, hey, I met so-and-so. How do you know them? Oh, through here. Okay, great. So normally I would say go out, go to in-person events, come home, look them up, connect on LinkedIn with a nice little note, and then check their different pages, check their blogs, and the people that you really like, that you feel kinship with, have a coffee. Now you can have a Zoom coffee, you can have a Zoom lunch, or Skype, or whatever your platform of choice is. And the other thing I was talking about before, now, if you're not up for events, totally fine. But what you can do is schedule networking time to reconnect with people you've lost touch with. So make it a goal. I use the G word, use it a lot, to do maybe 5 outreaches a week. So 1 outreach a day. It's an IM, it's a Facebook message, it's a LinkedIn. And you're just saying, hi, how are you doing? How are you holding up? What are you up to? And it's not about what you're doing, it's about checking in with the other person to see how they're doing. So virtual events, much like real life events, serve to help you connect with people, new people, or reconnect with people who you haven't seen in a long time. And then it's a starting point for continuing the conversation. You want to be, I say, present and helpful. And if you're on Twitter chats, a lot of times it's about answering the questions and then interacting with other people's answers to questions. If you're watching a video, a lot of groups are doing Facebook watch parties. So the video is already aired live, but they're doing a replay and interacting with their community in real time. See what feels good, what you can do, what works for you. Try different things, and you'll find your people. Or maybe you know where your people are. That's fine too. Gather them together. If you're seeing that there's something you can do, even if it's like, I know this woman who was doing Friday night parties in downtown LA for a while, and she since moved to Florida, I think. And I noticed the other day she posted, most of you remember I used to host house parties. Well, I'm doing it again, and if you want an invite, email me. So this isolation is very frustrating, but for a lot of people, it's their happy place. They're finding ways to thrive and bring people together. And I think that's what virtual events are all about. They're about giving you a place and a space to be yourself, to learn, to connect, to add value. So anybody listening want to chime in on your best practices for virtual events? If you're on the replay, just throw them into the comments. Or if you know of a good virtual event coming up, or you have ideas of events, feel free to do that as well. We're gonna wrap up in another minute or two. So I'm just gonna, first of all, thank you all for tuning in for the first GoalChat Live. It's been very exciting for me. And you can join us next week, either Sunday night on the Twitter chat, GoalChat, where the topic is healthy living. That's right. And all about strategies to be healthy, especially now when you can't have your normal routine. What can you do to bring a healthy routine in your life as it is right now? And so that is next Sunday night at 7 on the Twitter chat. And then next Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific, we will be talking about it. And if you have questions on goal setting goals, things that are challenging you right now, feel free to comment in the event. and I'd be happy to address it. Again, I'm Debra Eckerling. I'm author of Your Goal Guide from Mango Publishing, and you can learn more about my book at yourgoalguideroadmap.com, or you can learn more about me at the Deb Method. Please connect with me. Find me on LinkedIn, find me on Facebook. Let me know that we met here, and let's us continue our conversation. And you never know. It's all about being together, lifting each other up, and helping everybody pursue their goals and ultimately a happy and healthy life. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you all soon.